morning, my name is Jobby, and what the hell am I doing in front of the camera? No, seriously, is this some kind of April Fool's joke? Turn the camera around. No! Bucko! This is actually going to be the way things are done now on the channel. And I know what you're thinking. Oh, what? Now are you some kind of Few ripoff? Richard S.O.? What a dumb question to ask, because the answer is obviously yes. On a more serious note, a lot of you guys noticed that in my last toy review, the Digivolving Spirits Metal Garurumon, I wasn't as enthusiastic as I usually am. 138 people liked that comment, and 138 of you were actually kind of right. I wasn't just sick and tired physically, I was sick and tired of everything. And on the flip side of that, we get this fucking asshole. He took a break not a long time ago. Jeez, he just makes YouTube videos, not working in the field. I just love the YouTube comment section. Don't you? You know, me and the channel is like a marriage. A marriage that's been going on almost 4 years. And I could be wrong about this, most likely I am wrong, but I remember hearing something about how chemically, love itself only lasts about 4 years. So me getting in front of the camera is just me trying to reignite that marriage, you know, bring back in that passion. I'm bringing in the fuzzy handcuffs, I'm bringing in the whips and chains. Baby, strap on that peg me real good. Also, I got all the stupid shit on my face to hide my borderline lack of empathy in my eyes. I'm probably on the spectrum. Anyway, today we're talking about The Legend of Armor Hero, which is a Chinese tokusatsu show that no one has ever watched and no one cares about. And if you do care about, you are probably a toku-loving, friendly person. I literally have no right to bully anyone. Have you seen my bed? So if I don't know anything about The Legend of Armor Hero, why do I have these guys in front of me? Well, a toy company by the name of Auldey sent me these things quite a while ago. I'm pretty sure, no, I'm 100% sure that I received these in a P.O. Box video, and I said that I was gonna review them. Cut to a year later, and here we are. Shit, these guys actually do have names, but they're in rice, and quite frankly, I don't know how to speak rice, even though I myself am a ricer. I'm gonna look up that email real quick. Okay, so the red one here, his name is Yenlong Xia, which means Flame Dragon Hero, and he is apparently the main protagonist. And we have the gold one, who is named Li Huang Xia, and he is the Emperor Hero, and I guess he's the same character, just upgraded. I'm not gonna remember any of that. For the sake of the review, we're just gonna refer to them as red and gold. No, that's not racist enough. Hakao Xiumai! Leave a like on this video if you think that shit's bomb. So the first thing I should point out about these figures is that they are the kind of figures that have an opening window. And that's how you know either these are gonna be really high quality or the toy company is completely up their own colon. And judging by appearances alone, it's gotta be the first one, because these guys actually look really cool. And I am actually gonna start with Hakao first. I'm actually just gonna be calling them that. It's actually a really great design. There's something about it that reminds me of Kamen Rider Ryoji. Am I remembering that right? The dragon one. It's only because it's red. It's like saying,
oh, Spider-Man reminds me of Deadpool because they're both red and funny.
The painting on here is surprisingly clean, and I only say surprisingly because this is a Chinese figure after all. I mean, even the back of the figure has a lot of detail that you could dig your eyes into. That is a terrible image. It might go something like, not to mention, and he's got this little yin-yang on his belt because why not? I really don't have to do that. My face already looks like that. On looks alone, this guy definitely deserves that window box. However, handling the figure, kind of a different story. It's not too bad. I mean, it's not completely unstable and floppy, but there's just some parts where my parents are right outside that door. This really loose waist joint is really the main point of contention, but other than that, you do get these tiny feet that makes it a bit difficult to stand up and Hey, they stand up. That's a good thing. It's a good thing. It's not like I was fumbling over them at the beginning of this video. So about this loose-ass waist joint, chest joint, whatever it is, I don't know how to label things. Shumai here has the same problem. But design-wise, this guy looks pretty fantastic. But I do miss the more dragony influence of, Hakao here. This one goes for more of a, I don't even know what that is. Is that like a cat? Whatever it is, it looks fine, and the gold paint here is working really nicely. But I feel compared to a Hakao here, Shumai has some proportional issues. I guess it comes with the tokusatsu territory, but I feel that this guy has, his head is a bit too big. And I don't know if it's just me, but Shumai here, thick. That thigh bulge, am I right? So taking all of that into account, I think we can safely say that painting and sculpting on Hakao, amazing. Painting and sculpting on Shumai, amazing. So both of these guys actually come with a healthy amount of accessories, but we will be talking about Hakao's accessories first. He has some alternate hands here, and his hands are actually just on ball joints, so you can easily pop them off like that, and they easily go back. How does Stu do this bullshit? In addition to the standard fist, you get a pair of open hands. Some martial arts hands. Like it's not quite an open hand, but it's more like that, like the Renaissance hand. Anyone watch Jazza? And you get a pair of grabby hands, and of course, those grabby hands are for. Oh my goodness, this sword is really damn cool. You can fit this beautiful and huge sword into his hands very simply because the hands are actually made of flexible material. And man, with that sword in hand, this guy looks dank as I running out of vocabulary here. And the sword has these two handles which the figure can hold, and that allows to just cut to the footage. This is getting to be a mess to do on camera. There you go, it looks nice. Now something that's a surprise to be sure, but a welcome one, is that the hugeness of the sword does not interfere with the weight balance of the figure at all. It is amazing how this guy can actually stand up with this thing in hand. Obviously he has a limit, but thankfully I haven't found that. There it is. And as for Shumai's accessories, again, you get several alternate hands. They're actually the same kinds of hands that you get with Hakao, but you also do get an extra pair of, I guess you do, some of those. And as for weapons, you get big-ass sword, awesome-looking shield. Obviously, the sword fits right into his hand super easily, and again, just like the sword does not interfere with the weight balance at all. And even when you get the shield on him, which by the way comes in two parts, the handle and the shield proper, that is falling down. Stop ruining my point. So the handle goes into his hand really easily, and the shield plugs right. There we go. And that is looking. Two of these. But because there's no such thing as loving all your children equally, I'm sorry, older siblings, I gotta say that I actually prefer Hakao more. I'm more of a seafood guy more than a pork guy. But what I'm trying to say is that the weapon here and just how it fits with the overall design, it just works well for me. It looks more sleek. I think it's because it looks more like a Kamen Rider, which I'm more familiar with. That's saying something considering I know dick about Kamen Rider. This guy, sword and shield, classic combination, but it's something that you usually see. Even though the sword and shield themselves look amazing, it just seems kind of typical, you know? It's less Kamen Rider and more, Tir na nog. Leave a like on this video if you don't leave a like on this video. So for it's pretty much it. But Shumai has a few more tricks up his sleeve. Just take these weapons out of here. Now if we take the shield here, you can actually remove, well, first remove the handle, and you can remove this upper part, and that can plug right into this guy's breast. Of course, you have to remove his existing chest plate first. I'm a professional toy reviewer. Anyway, after you remove that breastplate, there's a hole here and a tab there, which you can just bam, and it looks pretty good. But that's not the greatest feature that this guy has. Let's just change out his breastplate real quick. Reassemble that shield. And if we take the sword, you can actually clip this in to the back. Note where I'm clipping it in. I'm clipping it at the thick parts of the sword, which is gonna give you that nice. And after you've got that plugged in here, you plug the handle right back into the back, and someone is overcompensated for something. I know, original joke. And even then, the sword and shield combination does not mess with the weight balance of this figure at all. It's amazing. Is this gay? Man, I'm telling you, these figures by themselves without their weapons, they looked really cool as is, but you get some swords into their hands and oh! Hold on there. We're not quite done yet talking about every aspect of the figure. And we're just gonna use Hagao here as a base model to explain to you the articulation of the figure. Ball joint at the base of the neck. He can look up and he can look down. Ball joint. The arm proper is on a ball joint. Arm can move out. Do I really gotta say it? This sucks. It sucks that I can't say this without it being a dead meme. The swivel, I said it. The swivel is an actual concept. I mean, it's got practical application. I suppose there's really no getting out of it. Anyway, we got a double bend at the elbow, ball joint at the wrist. It's on a hinge joint that allows it to move up and down, and if you rotate that, you get side to side. I completely f***ed up the order there. Every ball joint, of course. And I forgot to mention the head. Funny. Previously mentioned loose chest joint, and that is, in fact, a ball joint. Every ball joint, I don't recommend doing that for too long because you can chip the paint on the sides here. And there is a hinge joint within that assembly that allows it to have an ab crunch, and it allows for an arching back. A swivel at the waist. Ball joint at the hips allows for a high kick. Oh, shit. The spread was too beautiful. No sort of thigh swivel, although you can simulate one with that ball joint in there. Double bend at the knee. One of these at the ankle here. And there's just the tiniest bit of up and down. And what's basically a completely ineffective toe bend. However, the toe bend on this guy, it's a lot more relevant. This guy has the same amount of articulation as this guy, although his big old shoulders do kind of get in the way of head swiveling. Supposedly on these guys is really good, but due to the looseness of the chest, getting it into dynamic poses can be a bit of a pain. Also, the tiny feet do not help at all. And not to sound like a complete meme, but I actually wish that these figures had some sort of thigh swivel. I'd suggest already take a page from SH Figure Arts. I mean, you already took a page from Kamen Rider. Why stop there? And if you can't tell just by looking at this right now, these guys are pretty decently sized. And if we just pull out one of the many rulers that you guys gifted me in my last fail box, thank you so... Each figure measures up to be at least 8 inches tall. That's around 20 centimeters for you non-American folk, also known as people who actually watched this show. I shouldn't have to tell you when the ruler comes out. That's size comparisons, right? Here's Maraga Godzilla Prime, and of course, the figures next to each other. And as a pair of figures, they complement each other really well, in a similar manner that Hakao complements Shumai very well. I am very hungry right now. And overall, I gotta say that these figures are awesome. If you're one of the few people who actually know what the hell Legend of Armored Hero is, this is a must-buy. Because the franchise can't survive in this much obscurity for too much longer. That's pretty mean, actually. But for those of us who don't even know what the hell we're even looking at right now, even that there's still stuff for you to enjoy. I mean, look at me. I would have bought them if I knew they existed. That's not a lie at all, right? I asked the guy who sent these out to me, and he said that currently these figures are only available on a website called I'm a quarter Chinese. Just let me be awkwardly racist, please. And apparently that's like the Chinese Amazon. If you search this, you'll eventually find these guys. Actually, I'm just gonna probably link both of these figures to you in the description if you're interested in them. I think that's gonna end it for me, guys. I hope you had a good time here. I hope this new setup adds a little spice to the established Jobby formula. And leave a comment letting me know what you think. And non-jokingly, leave a like if you like the video. Engagement always helps this video get bumped up in the search rankings. That is something you guys care about. And I'll see you next time, where we'll be looking at something a little more familiar.